Sports.
We are Black Horse. We are Kansas City.
Royals baseball is back in Kansas City. After a road trip to Baltimore and Cleveland, the Royals are home for 6, beginning with 3 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. This wonderful game will drive you crazy sometimes. And remember, in the month of April, the Royals were getting really good starting pitching. The bullpen was struggling. The Royals couldn't score any runs. Now the Royals are piling up the runs. The bullpen has improved. And the rotation really struggled on the road trip. But slowly but surely, a left-handed rookie is getting better each start, Eric Skoglund.
Come on, Skogie. Right the ship. You have the ability to do that. But you know, Ryan, you're right. No one's been able to figure out the game, but what they have figured out is when you get consistency in pitching, defense, and timely hits, you win consistently. Now, they're waiting for Skoglund here to continue to step up. Last 3 starts, looking good. 6 innings per starts. The opponents aren't doing much off of him. He's getting some strikeouts, but really pitching to contact is his thing. Hopefully, he can eat up some innings tonight, save that bullpen a little bit.
And maybe some home cooking will get the Royals going. It's good to be back in Kansas City. It feels like Kansas City with the heat and humidity.
It does. And
the Royals have won 5 of their last 6 here.
Yeah, fantastic. You know what? It's nice to hear the roar of the home crowd. These folks were waiting early on as the wins weren't happening, but they are now, and hopefully that offense will continue.
Here's our Lowe's whole team together, and it really was whole team together. The Royals are pitching well and scoring runs on the last homestand.
Look at the wrist, 308. That's the timely hit category that you win most of. And lots of times, if you can knock in a whole bunch of runs, it can outdo some shoddy pitching, but we're not expecting that here.
The Yankees will be here this weekend. But first things first, it's the Royals and the Rays. And the first pitch is coming up next. Brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. 82 degrees. It was 90 in Kansas City earlier today. Thunderstorms so far all around Kauffman Stadium, but right now no rain is falling here. Royals made a roster move before tonight's game. Lucas Duda has had a sore right foot, plantar fasciitis to be specific, fasciitis. So Hunter Dozier, Royals first round pick, who played with the Royals a couple of years ago in September, has been called up, and he will be at first base tonight. Tampa Bay Rays are in town. They lost 17-1 yesterday in Baltimore. Here's their GMC batting order, and a much different style Rays offense. The last couple of years, they hit a lot of home runs. They struck out a lot. They didn't score a lot of runs, and they're trying to get back to where they were when they went to the World Series, and were one of the best teams in the East. More speed and better on defense. Tonight they'll go up against Eric Skoglund.
All right, Skoglund, he's the man to right the ship. That's what they want to do. The starting rotation has had some issues here on the road trip, and now he's hoping and he can get the stuff right. And it's like Ned Yost was saying earlier before the game, he's the right guy. If he can work that fastball, curveball, changeup, all three of them, mix them, and the opponents aren't doing much on the curveball. And establish the fastball, keep it out of the middle best you can, and don't be afraid to pitch inside, knock them off the plate a little bit. This is a pesky offense here that can get going, and they're going to have a little chip on their shoulder after the shellacking they took last night. Our forward around the horn, Royals defense. Solaire's out and right. He's been fun to watch out there. Alex Gordon back in center. He loves it. John Jay doing a nice job in left. And on the infield, Chesler Cuthbert. We saw the range in the arm yesterday in Cleveland. He's got a good one. Escobar, Merrifield, Hunter Dozier. There you go. Just a game of catch, Hunter. That's all it is over at first base. Don't worry about it. Salvador Perez, no problem behind the plate.
Tim Timmons is our crew chief. He is at third base. This is his 20th year as a big league umpire. Rob Drake calls the balls and strikes. Sean Barber is at first base. Mike Malinsky is the umpire at second. And now waiting around for the clock to turn to 6:08, which is the official game time for tonight. And this is Adeiny Hechavarria. And Skoglund's first pitch is ripped into right center field, but Alex Gordon was there. One thing you may notice when we show you the Royals defense tonight periodically is that you may not see a lot of dramatic shifts. The Rays are known as a team that goes up the middle and to the opposite field, and they see the second fewest shifts of any team in the major leagues.
Yeah. Mark Jersley before the game was telling me that exact same. They only might have, in this instance right here, maybe once, twice, they're going to see the full shift. Cron's a dead pull hitter. It's going pretty good. Hits 381 against lefties. 3 homers. Big guy. That 3 against the lefties. 8 overall.
Highest percentage of balls hit to the opposite field of any major league team, and the second fewest shifts. And of course, Cron goes the other way and hits it into the right field corner. Soler cuts it off, and throwing flat footed makes a good throw, but Cron is in with a 1-out double.
High fastball goes with it. Wait. The whole key is just to wait until the ball gets deep and then just put a good level swing on it. That's how you hit to the opposite field.
And that'll bring up Rays third baseman Matt Duffy. And there was a big opening at third base for the Rays this year when they traded Evan Longoria to the Giants during the offseason. The most prolific offensive player in Tampa Bay Rays history, Evan Longoria.
It was a shock, I'm sure, to the Rays fans, players on the team, and even to Evan Longoria.
2-0 on Duffy. Changeup is outside, and Skoglund threw a lot of those in his start Wednesday at Baltimore. Almost 1/3 of his pitches in that game were changeups. 27% to be exact. That was a career high.
He's getting more and more comfortable with it, and he's going to have to, because if he's going to have any success up here, you're facing right-handed dominated lineups, and that's the equalizer against a right-handed batter, is the changeup. If you have an exceptional fastball slider combination, you probably could just get away with those two pitches, but not every left-hander has that ability. Most of them all have to have main three. The changeup is, with the same arm speed as the fastball, will get little ground balls to the left side.
Here's a good slider, 3-2. Duffy doesn't look like a number 3 hitter, and he has just 2 home runs and 114 at bats, but he is a very good fastball hitter. Tried to go the other way, still 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, so why not go to a secondary pitch there? They know the scouting reports. Guy was a good heater. That's a fastball situation. Now, he's only had 35 at-bats. This is 36 at-bats now against lefties. He's just hitting 200. Small sample size, but he is hitting 300 overall. Take him some time to get going.
And he goes the other way. And they're going to wave home Crone on Soler, whose throw is up the line. That may have caught Soler and the Royals off guard, and it was a very late send. So Crone comes home on the base hit by Duffy, and Tampa Bay leads 1-0.
Another pitch elevated. Duffy in a good fastball hitter's count. We just talked about it. Now, when you hit the base, when the fielder just gets it, it's a do or die. It's got to be a perfect throw. And had the throw been a little bit closer to home plate, I think they'd have gotten it.
And now Wilson Ramos back to Skoglund. Takes his time, makes a good feed to Merrifield, and that ends the inning. 1-4-3. But the Rays, just like the scouting report says, got a couple of opposite field base hits, and they take a 1-0 lead. batting order. John Jay with Lucas Duda out slides down to number 5. And Hunter Dozier will make his 2018 Major League season debut. He'll bat 9th and play first base. And the Royals are facing Ryan Yarbrough. Rookie left-hander who came up through the Seattle organization and was traded to Tampa Bay.
Yarbrough, a couple starts. Opponents hitting under 200 off of him. Looking at that windup, little bit of deception by looking at the first couple of pitches here, but we'll wait and see how he does. But he's not overpowering. They know that. He's about 88 to 90, maybe 92 with his fastball. Got a little cutter. That looked like his little cutter fastball, and then change-up slider.
Really balances his pitches.
Sure does.
A late swing. And you were just talking about his velocity or lack thereof, and you would expect a swing like that on someone who's throwing 88 to 92, but he takes an exceptionally long stride to home plate, and hitters will say that the ball jumps on him.
Yep. And then his changeup, they're saying, "What? Just keep waiting and see." You know, you read scouting reports and you listen to it. Nice hit there. Stayed up the middle. That's the right approach. When you saw Whitley behind the fastball and he fouled it way off in the stands to the right, that tells me that he's really waiting on him and not trying to get out and jump on him. So this is what you do. Little backdoor breaking ball here. Stay with it. Stay up the middle. Slider was elevated. Just set the table. Get him on. Get him over. Get him in. Don't try to do too much off this guy. See him a little bit. When you've never seen a pitcher before, the more pitches you can see, the better off you are. Now watch Soler ambush him here.
Tried to.
He wanted it.
Soler is one of several Royals who had a really good road trip, hitting over 380. He drove in 6 and he scored 6. There's the changeup. 0-2.
Changeup, good arm speed, has some pretty good action away, fades away. And they say that his changeup is good enough to make his fastball look better. And so that'll tell you a little bit about the deception that he has. And his delivery, he's got a little bit of a funky delivery. And it's 6'5", 205. A lot of moving parts. And it looks like not your typical left-hand delivery, at least from the windup.
Still 1-2 on Soler. Yarbrough is 26 years old, and this is the 599th consecutive start for a Rays pitcher for someone 30 or younger. So tomorrow will be 600 in a row. That'll get Merrifield to second base. A 1-2 wild pitch.
They like him young, and they're searching for pitchers. There's a changeup. He turned over, and there was absolutely no chance for Ramos. He tried to get in front of it and just kicked up over it.
Out in front, and Yarbrough gets a strikeout.
Really going to have to wait on Yarbrough. Good spot, too. If he takes that, he's out. That's an excellent pitch. And when you get a guy that has a fastball changeup combination with the same arm speed as a fastball, one plays off the other.
Mike Moustakas had a good road trip. 2 home runs, 6 driven in, and then he got half the day off yesterday. Both he and Alcides Escobar came out before the 6th inning to begin the recharging process for this homestand. One ball, one strike.
Whitley, he likes to steal third. You get a bigger lead off of second base than you can from first base. Echeverria's not too far behind him, but he's going to pick his spot. Looks like Yarborough's pretty quick home.
One and two. Royals finished 2-4 on that trip through Baltimore and Cleveland. But they averaged over 6 runs per game, and they hit 8 home runs in the 6 games. And there's good hitting weather at Kauffman Stadium tonight. Right to Echeverria. So Merrifield knew exactly where the Rays shortstop was, and as soon as that ball was hit, he was on his way back to second base.
That's called knowing the outs. Less than 2 outs, you freeze on a line drive. He knew where he was playing. You're right. That's the important part too. When you get your lead, before you get your lead, you get off the base, you look around. You make a little visual note of where the defense is playing, and that's part of the heady game that Merrifield plays. Smart. Especially when you got the meat of your order coming up. Chance to drive him in.
And Salvador Perez was driving him in on the trip. He had 10 RBIs and 3 home runs. Seems to me the last few years there have been more line drive double plays than you'd expect to see at the major league level. It's one of the first things you learn as a kid, freeze on a line drive. And I wonder how much the defensive shifts have contributed to that. There are line drives that are just ingrained in a runner's brain that if the ball's hit here, it's going to be a base hit because there's nobody standing there. Well, now there's infielders all over the place, and you really have to emphasize freezing on a line drive now.
I think that's an excellent point. No doubt.
Salvi hits it deep into the left field corner and foul by a couple of feet.
Just got a little bit too much top hand hook on it. But you're right. But see, here's what the coaching has to really emphasize in their meetings. That's a changeup. He's out in front. You see that top hand dominated there. He got that top hand and just rolled and hooked it. In the meetings, you have to tell them, the base runners, look around, know where they're playing on defense. And they really have to make an emphasis on positioning, where they're playing, so that the base runners have to become more schooled. And I'm sure the younger the players are, they're growing up into the shift era, they should get better at it.
Timeout had been called, so no pitch. Salvi has an RBI in 4 straight games and an RBI in 6 of his last 7. And a chance to tie the game here in the bottom of the 1st inning. They're going to try and pitch him inside, and they miss. 3-2.
Yeah, this is the kind of pitcher, just watching him now through 20 pitches, Yarborough, that you don't have to worry about inside. You might want to belly up, get a little bit closer to the plate, look for the changeup, but also you have to wait. You got to tell yourself, wait, wait, wait. Think right field line, and then you'll adjust.
Salvi goes down to first with a 2-out walk, and there are 2 on for John Jay. Not a bad spot for John Jay, the way he has swung the bat in May. He's the subject of tonight's Toyota League leaders. Here's some of the highlights from the just completed road trip. He has the second best batting average in the American League in May, and tied for the second most hits.
Cool. Look at the pink bat coming through the zone. Excellent Mother's Day yesterday for color. See if he can stay hot now. .286 average against southpaws so far early is John Jay. He's going to use the whole field. Whitley can get a bigger secondary lead now. They're pretty much straight up on John Jay.
1-1. And within that merry month of May, John Jay has a 6-game hitting streak, and he has scored 7 runs during the streak. Good location over the outside at 90. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, you said get a long look at him, and he's about to throw his 25th pitch. So the Royals have seen a lot of pitches from Yarborough, and now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He knows the Royals are an aggressive offense, and doesn't look like he wants to pound the strike zone right now. So he's kind of getting settled in. It's just his 3rd start. But he does have his name written on his glove. He's a big leaguer.
Down to first, and Crone will take it to the bag, and the Royals strand 2 against Yarborough in the first. 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Back in the big leagues for the first time since 2016. Joel Goldberg right by the Royals dugout, and Dozier at first base. He found out after the game yesterday that he might be called up when news came to him that Lucas Duda might be going on the DL. Duda has gone on the DL with plantar fasciitis. As for Dozier, he spent the bulk of his career playing third base and outfield. His big league debut back in 2016, 7 games in right, 1 at DH. He spent his first 3 years in pro ball, mostly third, a little bit of short. 8 games at first base in 2016, 4 last year, 4 this year, mostly third base and right field. But he said that he got a lot of work at first base in spring training. He'd take a lot of work at first during pitchers fielding practice in the minors, and spent some time with Mike Dershowitz this afternoon. And now here he is, starting his first big league game as a first baseman.
And he'll run over to first and receive the throw from Whit Merrifield. Daniel Robertson is out number 1. And being an infielder his whole life, shortstop in college, and then as Joel mentioned, the Royals moved him over to third base. That'll come in handy. Most first basemen that are new to the position will tell you that it's not the fielding part of it. It's the where do I go when this happens part of it.
You're exactly right. All about the relay throws and the throws in at home plate, and and maybe some of the bunt plays. But you just tell yourself it's a game of catch. Keep it simple. Play the game, and those infield instincts will take over. Okay, that's just one thing. Okay, ground ball. All right, got to get there. That's the one thing. You got to get to the base, get your feet right. See, I do a little 360 kind of little turnaround here, and got quick feet.
So he knows exactly what to do here. Same play. Miller grounds out to Merrifield. Speaking of, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the hold true moment later in tonight's game. Skoglund allowed a 1-out double to C.J. Cron in the first inning, and then Matt Duffy drove in the Rays run. Johnny Field fouls it away.
It's a pretty good name.
Looks a little bit like Jose Altuve in a Rays uniform.
He does.
And he goes the other way. So true to the scouting report, the Rays are going to the opposite field tonight, and Field is on with 2 outs.
Yeah, look at, see, now this is their approach now. They know they're not a power hitting team, so why not just go up there and see the ball and hit it? Makes them a pretty tough team to defense.
Mentioned earlier that the Rays want more of a balanced offense this year compared to years past. Our Kubota power stats, and here's part of that. They have a strong bottom of the order. Several major offensive categories, 7, 8, 9 hitters. So you go from a very young player, a rookie in Johnny Field, to the veteran Carlos Gomez in his first year in Tampa Bay.
Skoglund has a nice little variety of moves to show the Rays. A little step off move he showed there. He's got a long look home, and he'll turn back to first, go back, and then he's got quick feet. He'll show a couple different regular moves. There's one there. That's always good. Typically, you don't want to show them all early. You might give them 1 or 2, and then you save that good move for when you really need a pickoff, like later in the game.
Field started to go and stopped, and now Alex dives in center field. He got a glove on it, and Field will go first to third on the base hit by Gomez.
Alex at first had to pick up the read. His slider down on the middle of the plate. You won't see a better style on a single in your life. Alex could try, though. See, that's a tough play to judge. Coming in full speed like that, can't tell you the degree of difficulty on that. What you think about that bat flip?
Be impressive for a 199 hitter. But I'm getting old.
No, you know, this is just the way the game is now.
One and one on Rob Refsnyder. Chance for two. Cuthbert. Well, they only needed one. You got it. They've gotten two. They'd only have to get 2 outs next inning. One nothing Rays to the bottom of the second inning. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Chesler Cuthbert will probably benefit more than anybody else with Lucas Duda going on the disabled list. That'll open up some at bats for him. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Chesler had just 6 plate appearances on the road trip. He was 1 for 5 with a walk. One and two.
270 against lefties. That's okay. He's going to get his opportunities against left-handers. And the thing that he was telling me before the game was that, you know, it hasn't been easy for timing, but he's trying not to do too much. And that's hard when you know, when you feel good and you know he's got power. He fights that a little bit, but when you're not playing every day, it's hard to go up there and swing hard because you miss it. You know, you want to just kind of get your singles. But he's kind of fighting that a little bit right now.
It's hard to gauge how you're doing when you're not playing every day.
It is. It's tough. It's one of the toughest jobs ever. He learned that last season. Oof.
Strike with a fastball. Yarborough strikes out his second. Reading up on Yarborough, and by no means am I talking about the finished product, but the comparison as far as his mechanics go, his pitching motion, one was made to Madison Bumgarner. 3/4 or high 3/4.
Exactly.
And will present a tough angle for a left-hand batter.
Exactly. That's what they're talking about there. The angle. See, that's the same angle. Shift work there on Alex again.
That's the second baseman Robertson. So it's 4-3 into the overshift and 2 down. Royals fans voted on their 50th season all-time team, and now you can wear your favorite players all on one shirt. We have a T-shirt Tuesday tomorrow, and the first 10,000 fans through the gates receive this exclusive shirt featuring the top 50 Royals players, presented by TBA. And you can see all of this year's designs at Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday. Escobar takes a fastball for a strike. Big difference for Escobar. Lefty versus righty. So you really don't learn a whole lot when you see his 229 overall average, because right now he becomes a 353 hitter.
That's right. And you know, they know the numbers, and so when you're looking ahead and you're seeing what kind of rotation the next team has is coming in, you see lefties and lefties, you're going, okay, good, and there you go. You start visualizing and start finding a way to stay positive. But then you got to battle, especially a guy you've never seen before. You know, and you mentioned Madison Bumgarner. They're the same size height-wise, 6'5". Big difference in weight, though. Yarborough's 205, Bumgarner 250. Big difference when it comes to that. And I don't know, I've never seen Yarborough swing the bat, but I would guess he probably is not in the same league as that guy, Bumgarner.
Who is?
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't hit like
there are position players that are not in the same league as he is
No
with the bat.
doubt.
3 balls, 2 strikes. For the record, however, he bats right-handed, just like Bumgarner does. Left-hand pitcher who bats right-handed.
Yeah, good question to ask him. Go in there and meet him tomorrow. Tell him we were comparing him to Madison. Not overall, just the angle.
I'll let you go do that.
Yeah. No, that's one of the things I love the most about this job, is to get to meet new young talent, young players.
Inside, and another walk for Escobar.
Salvador Perez and Escobar walking in the same game early. That's highly unusual.
And a nice ovation and a welcome back to Hunter Dozier. This is what he was doing at TBA Omaha. Good on base percentage. He was the Royals' first-round pick, 8th overall in 2013 out of Stephen F. Austin. Got to the big leagues 2 seasons ago. He was here in September and got his first big league hit against the Oakland A's. It was a double. And then last year was just kind of a lost year for him because of injuries. He is wearing number 17, but I bet there's a lot about 2017 he'd just as soon forget. He started the season on the disabled list with an oblique injury. And then in June, he broke his left wrist and had to have surgery. And was supposed to be a building block season for him.
Yeah, it's a frustrating profession, no question, especially when you're getting hurt. It plays into a lot of guys' careers.
The wind is picked up out of the south, so at the moment blowing out toward left. We'll keep an eye on those flags with thunderstorms in the area. That is a good direction at Kauffman Stadium. When those flags pick up and start blowing from left to right, you might want to hang on to your hat. 2-2. He was a shortstop in college, a big shortstop. But the Royals saw him more as a corner infielder. Joel was talking about the rather smooth transition he made to the outfield, and that's where we saw him the most in 2016, and then started mixing in some first base.
He's having a good at bat here, seeing a lot of pitches. He's an athlete. And I remember that's the first time we saw him on tape when they drafted him. I saw him run. I saw him take off from the batting after hitting the ball. I saw him on defense, and he looked like he was a shortstop, and looked very athletic. And when you have size, that helps. It helps you fit in other areas.
The pitch was supposed to be inside, but Yarborough caught the outside edge. But he has struck out 3 in 2 scoreless innings.
Friday nights are the best spent at the K with Buck Night and summer fireworks. Come out every Friday home game during the summer and enjoy hot dogs, peanuts for just $1. Stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular right from your seats. Join us Friday when the Royals host the Yankees at 7:15. Tickets available now at Royals.com.
Edeni Echeverria lined out to Gordon in center field, first time up. 2 balls, 1 strike. And let's talk about Echeverria against lefties. 258 overall. 333 against left-hand pitching, but there's a lot of luck mixed in because his well-hit average is one of the lowest in the major leagues. They're not hitting it very hard, but
yeah,
in the end, the box score has shown a lot of hits for him against lefties.
Yeah, he's a singles hitter. He's got 2 homers and 2 doubles. Are the only extra base hits he has so far in 31 hits. Not a lot of power, but you know, the way he plays shortstop, he doesn't have to hit at all. He saves a lot of runs and a lot of pitches with his defense. Fabulous player.
3-2.
That's a pitch there. That's a good pitch right there for a Skoglund. He's got to be able to back those hitters off of that inside pitch. Opens up the outside for the backdoor breaker and the changeup. Puts it in the back of the hitter's mind.
Still 3-2. And you mentioned what he does on defense. That's part of the shift the Rays have made offensively and defensively. Skoglund gets his first strikeout. 1 away in the 3rd inning. Focusing more on run prevention than trying to pile up runs, because for a couple of years they just tried to slug their way to victory. In 16 and 17, they were one of the best home run hitting teams in the league, but it didn't translate to anything better than 14th in runs scored, and they were setting records with strikeouts. Now the power is way down, and at the moment they're not scoring any runs, but loading up on big power hitters that'll strike out and just hope for some 3-run home runs. Didn't work the past couple of years.
No,
and that's not what got them to the World Series.
Right, it rarely works. Because if you do get to play out the postseason, you're seeing 3 of the best pitchers that team has, and they're going to shut down any kind of power hitting. How are you going to win? How are you going to score runs? Right. I mean, I commend Tampa Bay for just saying, hey, look, let's get a bunch of guys out there that are scrappy, that can hit the ball around, and see how it goes.
Witt will have a shortstop-like throw, and he gets Crone for the 2nd out.
But Whitley, you mentioned shortstop, has no trouble with arm. He's got a tremendous arm. He could play that left side of the diamond if they let him do it. Now, this is one of the few times that Mike Jerschley, the infield instructor for the Royals, will have the full shift on for Crone. And he told me before the games, I asked him about the Tampa Bay offense and how the fact that they use the opposite field more than any team, and they're a bunch of singles hitters. He goes, no, there you go. There's a typical defense right there. You play the guy to pull, that's a base hit, and the inning continues, and so does the pitch count.
Skoglund has his first 1-2-3 inning, and the Royals will have the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 3rd. this very slowly because there is a lot to process here. Chow is an avid runner and competitor, to say the least. She completed 7 marathons, which is impressive, right?
Oh, absolutely.
How about 7 marathons in 7 days? How about 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents? How about 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents for her 70th birthday?
That's unbelievable. Blow wind. How about 7-second hang time for that baby? Oh, man. That ball stayed up there forever and took advantage of that wind. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to be a routine can of corn. Whitley will take it. Look at that. That's right in the middle, belt high, center cut, and hit that ball sky high. And it just drifted and drifted and drifted all the way to where Whitley has his 4th. Anyway, do you have any more on Chow?
Yeah.
That's an amazing story.
7 marathons on 7 different continents in 7 days for her 70th birthday as Soler smashes one out to Duffy at 3rd. And there is one down. She estimates that she has run over 80 marathons in her lifetime and does not plan on stopping anytime soon.
Wow.
She's the recipient of Win for Casey's Lifetime Sportswoman. I would hope so. They should name the award after her. And she's sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game. And man, do I wish I could have heard a conversation between Chow and Buck. If Buck had heard all of those interesting facts about her.
Think of the questions that you could ask her.
Moustakis bloops it to left in front of Ref Snyder. He's 1 for 2.
Well, congratulations, Chow. Fantastic. Hey, Moose, look at this. Now, that's an inside fastball meant to jam him, but there's no way Moose is going to get jammed on that when he's thinking left field. Kept his hands inside of the baseball, had a good level swing, used the opposite field. If he's trying to pull that, he jams himself and breaks his bat.
Out to Echeverria, and the Rays get an inning double play. That has been a killer for the Royals this year, grounding into double plays. But Whit Merrifield leads off the bottom of the 3rd and ties the game at 1. Jason Day and defending champion Justin Thomas, and more of golf's greatest players will be in St. Louis in less than 100 days. Tickets for Monday's opening day through Thursday's opening round are still available, but they're going fast, so visit PGAchampionship.com for tickets. Whit Merrifield ties the game at 1 with a home run. The Rays got a RBI single from Matt Duffy in the first, and now Wilson Ramos takes a fastball for a strike. Ramos lost an 18-game hitting streak yesterday in Baltimore. That was the longest hitting streak in the major leagues this year. He drove in 17 during that streak.
Wilson's in his 8th season as a big leaguer. Got a different style of batting. I've never seen him wide open like that before. Catcher that hits for average. Had a good year in Washington 2016. Hit .307. 22 homers. 25 doubles. That's right. He may not be the speediest guy, but he's a heck of a offensive catcher when he gets going.
Down on strikes. Skoglund gets his second.
Our Mo lottery replay shows you exactly where Skoglund wanted that. That's called not quite a back legger, but that's a slider down, breaking ball down in the dirt. Can't put it in play. Fools a hitter. Back legger, you're moving your back leg.
Oh, and 1 on Daniel Robertson. He grounded out to Merrifield in the second inning. Little bit low. 1-1. Just missed down and in. So Skoglund tonight, for the most part, when he has missed, he has just barely missed. I thought Skoglund's last start may have been one of his most impressive, even though it wasn't a great line. It wasn't a bad line, but it wasn't like his big league debut. It wasn't like that excellent game against Toronto. Three balls, 2 strikes, but he was in trouble quite a bit in the middle innings. Pitched through it. He got out of a 1st and 3rd and nobody out. Got a strikeout in a double play. Soft liner to right, and Soler almost overran it. So when you talk about Skoglund getting a little bit better with every start, there's been a few starts where he's gotten into trouble late in the game and then he's had to come out because of it. But against the Orioles in his last start, he got into trouble. He worked through it and ended up going 6 1/3.
And you know, that's a powerful lineup there, and there's a lot of big names in there. So when you're young and you're new, you're rookie like Skoglund, sometimes that'll mess with you a little bit. But I'm liking what I'm seeing as far as his mound presence goes. He's getting a little bit tougher. I think he knows that the organization believes in him, obviously, to let him go out there and take his lumps, and pitch through adversity. That's important. That's part of your growth. This is not an easy league. Some of these hitters have been making a pretty good living up here for a long time. When you're a new kid on the block and you know you don't have overpowering stuff, you got to wade through the water.
His best start was against the White Sox, not Toronto, but that was 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. So that was the most impressive line, but I really liked the way he battled through those middle innings against the Orioles.
I did too, but going back to the White Sox game, I liked how one of the best hitters in baseball. Look at that pitch. He is not fearful at all. Fearless. Good pitch.
Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Jeep. Hurry in to the Jeep Celebration event and get a great deal today. And brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL. John Jay leads off the bottom of the fourth inning, followed by Cheslor Cuthbert and Alex Gordon. John rolled out to first in the first inning. Two and one. Duffy drove in a run for the Rays in the first. Merrifield homered for the Royals in the third. 2-2. And Witt got a little bit of help from the wind, which has died down somewhat now, and there are some very angry looking clouds out beyond left field. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, there are thunderstorms all around Kauffman Stadium, but it hasn't rained here yet. Yikes.
Yep.
And that's where the storms come from here, out of the northwest mostly. Pulled foul over to the tarp. That's another sign. The tarp is not covered at the moment. So that means the grounds crew can get to it in a hurry if they need to and put it on the field. And on a positive side, there is no sign of the grounds crew. So so far so good with the weather. Things you look for at Kauffman Stadium if you're wondering about rain on its way. John Jay knew it. Yarborough strikes out his fourth. 3 of the 4 have been looking
deceptive. Talked about it before the game about how, and they've never faced him before, so seeing a lot of pitches is key, but he's deceptive. He's not overpowering. He's a young pitcher with a couple variations of his fastball, changeup, slider, and different arm angle.
Cuthbert to shallow center. Field comes up to make the play. Chesler is 0 for 2. The Fan Express, brought to you by Fox Sports Kansas City, is coming from Omaha to Kauffman Stadium on the 19th. Also sponsored by Cox Communications and 1620 The Zone. If you're interested, go to Royals.com/Fan Express. And that will be the middle game of a 3-game weekend series with the Yankees. And the Royals are going to have a lot of alumni here as part of the 50-year celebration. And there were a lot of highs and lows in the history of Royals baseball against the Yankees.
Sure. Get your tickets, folks. I want to be a part of that.
Yarborough threw a ton of pitches in the first 3 innings, so he needed a 1, 2, 3, 4, and he got it. Jose Ramirez against Mike Fiers in Detroit. That is his 13th home run. And we're just past the quarter pole of the season, so you can project that out. But he is tied now with Manny Machado, Mookie Betts, and Bryce Harper for the major league lead in home runs. Jose Ramirez. What do we figure out? He hit 1 home run 4 years ago.
Incredible. Incredible story. Some kind of confident player, and it's a ball of fire.
Dave Holtzman just told me that Ozzie Albies, rookie for the Braves, also hit his 13th tonight to join that group. How about the Braves?
Wow.
9 games over 500.
Yep.
Kevin Seitzer, their hitting coach, has got him swinging the bat.
He's doing a fantastic job. He's going to stay in, maybe.
And Dozier didn't quite get it.
Looked like he got a glove on it. Ooh, maybe. Almost.
Right next to the great John Sleezer of the Kansas City Star. That's Escobar. And throwing out Johnny Field. take home a piece of unforgettable Royals history. We were just talking about Royals Yankees. How about the George Brett Pine Tar incident? We'll have the bobblehead commemorating that on Saturday. The first 20,000 fans inside the gates receive the bobblehead before watching the Royals and the Yankees. Royals.com/tickets. Skoglund throws out Gomez, 2 away. And did not flip his glove in doing so.
Skoglund, he's 6'7". It's hard to get it over. You better hit it a little bit harder. You're gonna try to bounce it over his head.
Rob Refsnyder with 2 down. He grounded out to third in the second inning. One and one. Skoglund has set down the last 9 Rays hitters. Going back to the second inning. Hit hard. Dozier got a glove on it. He looked like a hockey goalie there with a glove save. So make it 10 in a row retired by Skoglund. Top of the order coming up.
Always finds a way to stay healthy. Same can be said usually about Robinson Cano, but as we see in our University of Kansas Health System injury report, Robinson Cano headed to the disabled list for the 2nd time since 2006. Was hit in the hand yesterday by a Blaine Hardy 88-mile-an-hour fastball. We'll see a hand specialist tomorrow. Possible surgery 6 to 8 weeks. When you're talking about longevity in the game, Cano is one of the best. We know how good Escobar is. For comparison's sake, guys, since Esky with the big hit debuted with the Royals in 2011, 1,145 games, most in baseball. Next, Robinson Cano at 1,143, just 2 behind him. And then you see McCutchen quite a ways back, along with Santana and Jones. But now Cano will be on the shelf, it looks like, for quite a while, guys.
Joel, some things you can control and some things you can't. And most of the injuries you can't. No one's out there trying to get hurt, and Hardy wasn't trying to hurt him either. They pitch inside a lot. Just so happens that Hardy, not overpowering, Cano committed a little bit too soon and hit him in the hand. But you see Escobar, you see that little pad he had on his top of his glove? That's new. I haven't seen that. He's taking
like
it off.
Shohei Ohtani, remember that?
Yeah,
protecting his pitching hand, had a big guard.
Yeah,
on his batting glove.
Hard plastic, like a shin guard of a catcher. Smart. Because you know the ball is hard and it hurts. It does bad things to the flesh. That's as simply put as I can give it to you. But it'll travel if you can get some backspin on the ball. It doesn't matter. Launch angle, good, smooth, easy swing. But you want velocity off the bat. You have to have a little bit of bat speed over the plate through the zone for a short period of time, and then try to get the back underside of the ball, and then the ball will carry. It jumps. Speaking of jumping, Hunter would like to jump one and get in the book, in the Major League record book for home run. He's waiting for his first homer. And when you catch one really good, it gets about over the pitcher's head, and you can see the ball change directions. It just takes off. It catches another gear when you get that backspin, and it just shoots out. It's like a rocket shot. It just takes off. You know it's out when you see that. Oh.
Sounded like it was down around the end of the bat, but he had the right pitch and the right swing. And that's what crafty lefties will do. They will keep pitches away from the fat part of the bat.
Sure does. Let's see the launch angle on this one. This will be interesting. Wow, 37 degree. You don't see that very often. I mean, that's pretty high. 35's high. We haven't seen a lot of those. And there it was. He had a little bit of uppercut at the last minute, and he's able to lift it, and with a tad bit of help from the wind, got himself his fourth homer.
Strike on Witt, who is 2 for 2. He also had a single tonight. Archaea drive to success. Witt has hit in 8 straight now, with 5 runs scored, 5 stolen bases, and an on-base percentage over 500. His numbers have really improved, but I never felt like early in the year that he was so-called struggling at the plate. He just wasn't getting hits. I had a chance to visit with him, and I presented that to him. Do you ever feel like you were struggling early on, even though the numbers were there? And he said, weren't there. And he said, no, it was cold. I didn't feel great in the batter's box. There was some bad luck mixed in. And then he said there were a few games where I didn't make solid contact. And I went back and looked at the video after the game, and they were pitches on the corners. He felt like he was getting pitched pretty tough in the first month.
Made a name for himself.
So he hasn't changed anything with that in mind. Just keep having the same at bats, and now they are turning into hits, especially against lefties.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't need to worry about himself at all as long as he's healthy, because the defenses play him straight up because he sprays the ball all over the field. It's where it's pitched. Now he did hit 19 home runs last year. Could have had 20, maybe even 25 if he really focused on that. But I was talking to a prominent scout tonight at dinner, and he was saying that Merrifield is a baseball player. Some of his tools don't really stand out loudly, but you put them all together, and he's a talent. And the scout did tell me that he worried about his power because he can get in the back of his mind. If he tries to swing for the fences, that could change his game around. He wants him just to stay the same way. He's saying, I hope he stays the same way he is. Don't try to get power happy, but he's got pop, so he's going to fight that. Stay up the middle.
He has 3 hits tonight. And that swing right there underlines your point. He wasn't swinging for the fences with that pitch. That was just a good line drive stroke.
That's right. So hopefully he'll say the same. Now look at that. That is a Bumgarner arm angle there. You brought it up, but he's way too much of the middle of the plate and in. Look at the hip turn. Very nice. Good balance.
And now timeout. And here's a familiar face to fans of the Royals over the last 20 years. Kyle Snyder, first round pick of the Royals back in 1999. Out of the University of North Carolina. That year the Royals drafted Snyder and Mike McDougal in the first round. 6'7" right-hander who had one injury after another, but a high character guy, and has been in the Rays system for a while as a minor league pitching coach. This is his first year at the big league level, and there are a lot of Rays pitchers that I wasn't very familiar with looking at their roster before the series, and just about every young guy I read about at some point talked about how much Kyle Snyder influenced them in the minor league.
Fantastic. Glad to see him at this level. Crowd here picking up a little bit. They're wanting to see something off of Jorge Soler's bat. Couple guys on, one out.
Soler struck out and grounded out to third. Yarbrough is about to throw his 80th pitch, which even for today doesn't sound like a lot. But remember, he's just making his third start. And on Wednesday, he went 5 innings against Atlanta, and that was a career high 5 innings. So he's not stretched out to 100+ pitches.
No, but you know what? Does a pretty good job of keeping hitters off balance. But look for the mistake. 2-0 here. He's going to have to execute a pitch here, or he could be in trouble. Now you got to give Jorge the green light here, as he can give a nice little lead, little cushion here to Skoglund with one swing.
He'll take a 4-pitch walk, and that'll load the bases with one down. Chaz Rowe appears to be ready if called upon, and this might be Yarbrough's last hitter with a lefty-lefty matchup here.
Yeah, and I think he was careful on purpose with Soler there. He knew Moose was the lefty on deck. Certainly, Moose can do a lot of damage as well, but I think maybe he'd rather face Moose, but we'll see. A couple of slams.
Yarbrough comes to the plate and back down to first for a 1-2-3 inning double play, and the Royals lead the major leagues in ground ball double plays. Eric Skoglund. He gave up a run in the first inning. But since the first, he has allowed only 2 singles, and he has retired the last 10. And he's been a ground ball pitcher tonight.
Work it. That saves the pitch count by pitching to defense. Tells me you're keeping the ball down. That's exactly what Cal Eldred wants of him tonight. Too bad they couldn't have got a run or 2 there in that last inning for him. It's looking good. He looks confident.
Echeverria to the gap in left center field, and that is down for extra bases. So that snaps the string, and Echeverria has his first hit tonight. He is 1 for 3.
Sounded good. Didn't have enough to get it to the wall because a hustling Gordon was able to cut it off. Else he'd have had a leadoff triple. That was in on his hands, but he still hit it in the right place. Alex, nice job of chasing it. See, he's in the outfield there, but he took a good angle. Alex did, and he watch this. He's the last minute here. Gets it before it gets to the wall, gets his feet quickly, gets it in. That's the whole key. Wind up and throw, set your feet, and get it into the cutoff man as quickly as possible, or the relay man.
Breaking ball strike to C.J. Cron with 1 out in the first inning. He went the other way and doubled up the right field line, and then he scored on Matt Duffy's base hit. Oh, and 2. Cron is swinging the bat well at the moment. His double extended a hitting streak to 7 games and an on base streak to 20 games. Trying to go the other way again.
He is. His 7th double, his first time up going that way, and that's exactly what he wants to do. With nobody out, that's the situation he's in. Like to be able to move the runner to third, get him over there with less than 2, better chance to score. Play the game. 0-2.
That ball hit the ground first. And sometimes we will say he golfed it to the outfield, meaning he swung at a low pitch. I think that actually hit the ground.
Well, look at now Duffy and Salvi are talking about that. Rob Drake now. Oh wow, that's a Vladimir Guerrero stroke. Hall of Famer Big Daddy Vladdy, except Vladdy would turn that into a double. That's amazing. Fantastic. Look at the abbreviated swing. Looked like he was playing cricket. Now, had he taken a full rip, he could have done some damage. Tester.
This time the Rays will run again on Soler, and getting around the tag is Echeverria. Echeverria ran through a stoplight. I was going to say this time they will not run on Soler, but Echeverria ran right through the stop sign. And Duffy drives in another run tonight.
Well, Quattro, the third base coach, he's going to hold him this time because the ball got to him quicker. Salvi is in front of the plate, and Echeverria did a nice job of throwing his body around and was able to sneak back in there and really actually sneak a run. That's you got to give Echeverria some credit for that one. Look at that, and he avoids the tag. Watch him get his left hand in there. Rob Drake standing right there, he can see it. That's one heck of a job of manipulating a catcher that's laid out, fully extended, and when you got 2 hands against 1, you're going to win most of the time. Excellent heads up slide. But had Cron, if he'd have followed through with that, he could have hit that out of the park and barreled up right in his barrel of his bat.
one on Ramos. Wonder if Salvi could have done that play again if he would have stayed on his feet rather than go down to a knee there, because it really limited his ability to reach out and get Echeverria.
It did.
Almost like he was bracing himself for a collision.
Okay, watch him. He's coming home here. You can see where Salvi is if you freeze it right there for me. Okay, he's got all that area there, but Salvi's 4 feet in front of the plate and towards the right field. So Echeverria sees that, and he's going to try and miss the tag there. Drake's looking for it, and then he showed him the right hand and touched with the left.
Got him picked off. So he was going on first movement, so it's caught stealing. 2 down.
This is a good test for Dozier. This is not an easy play. You got to be able to make your throw without hitting the runner in the back. So nicely done. Throws a little bit off, but still enough time for Whitley to apply the tag. Left-handers, for left-handed first baseman, a little easier angle for them to throw and not hit the runner in the back. So as a righty, you got to clear yourself. No problem.
So Duffy drives in another run, and Tampa Bay takes a 2-1 lead.
Because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Salvador Perez will lead off our Sonic Slam inning against Chaz Rowe, who was warming up as Yarborough was finishing off the 5th. He's a Chevy call to the bullpen, on for his 20th time this year, and his ERA is over 5.
Yep, a little bit too much to the plate, but 17 strikeouts in 14 innings. He throws hard. He's mid-90s. 4 and 2 seam fastballs. Got some sinking to his little 2-seamer, and he's got a wipeout slider when he gets ahead. That's his out pitch.
Robertson brings it down at second base. Salvi is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Our contestant tonight is Ben Thurn from Everest, Kansas. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Ben wins $800. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Ben wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. John Jay was 0 for 2 against Ryan Yarbrough, who tied a career high with 5 innings tonight and gave up just 1 run on 4 hits. Sharply hit, but Echeverria is guarding the middle. 2 down. You can help the Royals celebrate the 20th anniversary of The Sandlot by enjoying a free viewing of the movie on Crown Vision. Stay after the game on Saturday, June 2nd, and watch the movie right from your seats. Visit Royals.com/Sandlot for details about this special day. Cuthbert has struck out and flied to center field. In case you're wondering, I was, where is Everest, Kansas? South of Hiawatha, northwest of Atchison. There you have it.
Is that where Ben's from?
That's where Ben's from.
Okay. Chester might get him a cookie. He's hoping for one middle in. That's a little snappy slider.
Buckler.
Yeah. A little snappy. That'll kind of back you off some.
Three and 2 on Cuthbert. Gordon is on deck. That is a nasty pitch.
Sure is.
10 pitches, 1, 2, 3 for Rowe in the bottom of the 6th. The Rays still lead 2-1. It's just a 2-1 game to the 7th inning. That's Matt Duffy driving in a run in the first inning. Whit Merrifield homering, leading off the third, and then Matt Duffy again in the sixth. With some help from Echeverria, avoiding a Salvador Perez tag. And now Eric Skoglund, who's given up 2 runs, 6 hits in 6 innings. Here's his Pizza Ranch pitching line.
Gotta like that line.
And he's been very pitch efficient as well, too. That was just his 72nd pitch tonight.
He has eaten up some innings here. That's for sure. Very confident. Look at those. Look at 5th, 6th, and 7th. Single digits. Every single outing, he's learning more and more about his craft. Look at that. Excellent spot. Backdoor breaker. Look at him. Look at the poise. Look how confident he looks. He's taking his time. But he's right up there on that slab, getting the sign. Feeling his position like a Gold Glover. Just third play. No problem.
And now Brad Miller with 1 out. Here's our sprint trivia question. Besides Evan Longoria, name the other 4 players to record a 100 RBI season with Tampa Bay in their 20 previous years. I think Carlos Pena had a 100
It's a good guess.
RBI season. Carlos Pena.
Go with it.
That's one of them. John Jay makes a play in left field. Miller is 0 for 3. Miller, he had over 30 home runs a couple of years ago. Nope, I won't look it up because that'd be cheating, but I don't think he had 100 RBIs. What about Greg Vaughn in the early years of the Rays?
Had a lot of power. Might be a winner.
Greg Vaughn. Strike 1.
All right, I'm thinking of one.
Who do you have?
I have the crime dog, Fred McGriff.
Is that an official guess?
599 career home runs. 499. That's no, it don't have to be. What do you think? I'm just throwing
I ran Greg Vaughn up the flagpole. How do you feel about it?
Yes.
Is it Fred McGriff? Correct.
Ding, 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 ding.
So 2 to go. 2 strikes to go.
Yeah. 499 home runs. Couldn't have scraped the back of a wall one more time and had 500. Good guy, Fred McGriff. We came up together. 18 years old in Pirate City. Instruction League. Braden, Florida. Field, this guy's a player. He's scrappy. He runs hard.
Skoglund again pulls that one out of the sky. He's made 3 of the last 4 plays, and he's tied his career high with 7 innings tonight.
Go ahead. Show your skills. Now get him some runs.
Goldberg Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. A pitcher's duel with young, tall lefties, and perhaps much needed.
Yeah, and this is really what the Royals needed after the pitching performance from the starters on that road trip. Needed Eric Skoglund to step up in a big way. So far tonight, he's done it.
All right, now need the offense to get going. We'll talk about the pitchers here from Ned Yost, Jeff Montgomery analysis, and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Ryan?
There's Eric Skoglund toweling off in the background as Cal Eldred and Ned Yost discuss what they might do here. Do they want to warm somebody up in the bullpen? Skoglund has only thrown 81 pitches in 7 innings. No more than 14 in any inning. One thing they may factor in is the heat and humidity. It's been the first hot, muggy day that he's pitched in, so he may feel like he's thrown more than 81.
It's possible. It's cooled off some, but you know what, though? He's cruising. I love what we're seeing tonight from Skoglund. That's exactly what they wanted to see, but now they're like going, wow, we never expected this, so this is a nice surprise.
Johnny Venters is a Chevy call to the bullpen, and what a great story he has been. He's late getting off the mound, but still there in time to get Alex Gordon. Johnny Venters, when he appeared in a game on April the 25th, became the first pitcher in Major League history to appear in a game after not 1, not 2, but 3 Tommy John surgeries.
Wow. My goodness.
And before he could even work up a sweat, he's going to come out of the game. Sergio Romo will get Alcides Escobar when we come back. With the Bo Jackson Flex Plan. This plan gives you the ultimate flexibility with 16 ticket vouchers to use during the remainder of the season. Go to Royals.com/Bo. Sergio Romo, one-time closer of the San Francisco Giants, comes on with right-hand batters coming up. And a strike to Alcides Escobar. 16 games and a high ERA, 5.65.
Yeah, he does have some strikeouts, and it's not because of his blazing fastball. He's got good stuff. A little slider, fastball 80s, high 80s. Maybe he'll touch some 90. Split finger, changeup, curveball. He's one of those guys that throws everything but the kitchen sink. He came into this season, the 35-year-old, at 9 years and 97 days. He's closing in this year on his 10th year in the majors. Congratulations. It's a long grind.
He pitched in 3 World Series with the Giants. 0-1 on Hunter Dozier, including 2014 against the Royals. He appeared in 2 games and pitched 2 1/3 scoreless with 4 strikeouts. One and one on Dozier. He is struck out and flied to left. One and two.
Tough on righties, especially with that arm angle and those breaking balls that go away from you. He's not easy. Tough contest for Dozier here. And all the experience he has.
He's had some tremendous strikeout to walk ratios in his career. And you mentioned he's not overpowering, but he finds a way to get strikeouts. In 2011, he had 5 walks and 70 strikeouts. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
He has never walked more than 14 in a season. Checked his swing.
You know, and you look at this guy, you look at him, he's 5'11", 185, dripping wet. And being good friends with former pitching coach Dave Righetti of the Giants. Righetti was a pitching coach there for 20 years. And I had a conversation with him one time. Who on all those pitchers you had there, Kane and all those, you know, pitchers, Lincecum, and who's the toughest pitcher on your staff? And he said Sergio Romo was. I was impressed. Clinic with his pitching. Check out his fielding. He is absolutely working it. He'll take the pick off even. Watch this little one hopper. Not by me. And watch this last one here. Watch him shrug his shoulders in confidence. Watch this. That's right. That's right. He's got it going on right now. He feels it. That's the confidence. That's that moxie. He's like, okay, look, this is my game. They let him go out, toe the slab again for the 8th. Gotta like it.
Brian Goins takes over at third base for this top of the 8th inning. And if Skoglund gets an out in this inning, that'll be a career high 7 1/3 innings for him. One and 2 on Gomez. That's Jason Adam in the Royals bullpen. In only 1 inning tonight, did the Rays send more than 4 to the plate. So there hasn't been a lot of stress, even though Skoglund is down 2-1. He only faced 4 in the first, then 5 in the second, and then 1, 2, 3 in the third, fourth, and fifth. Only 4 batters in the 6th, and 1, 2, 3 in the 7th.
Bury it. He wants it down.
Salvi running up the line with Gomez, and he is a very good athlete. Gomez is pointing to his dugout. He thinks that Dozier came off the bag too soon.
They're going to check this out. It's a foot race, but Salvi's so good picking the ball up off the ground. It'll be interesting. I thought he pulled his foot. Nope. Of course, that angle there, I wasn't really sure, but it was close. Let's see if they want to challenge it. I think they do.
And at this point here, you already don't have a lot to lose. If you lose your challenge from the 8th inning or later, the manager can always request a challenge. And I don't know if this is still true or not. That's close. I don't know if it's true or not, but I know a couple of years ago I was told that no crew chief challenges, meaning it was not a challenge that a team had, but just a manager requesting a challenge in the 8th inning letter. None had been turned down. So if the Rays lose their challenge, it doesn't mean they can't have a play reviewed the rest of the game. I don't know. He's out. So a strikeout, 1 away in the 8th.
And we really, Dozier did a nice job. I mean, he sees a big guy coming running at him like that. I mean, that's a quick touch. Get out of the way, especially on that side of the base.
So a career high 7 1/3 for Eric Skoglund, and now ball 1 on number 9 hitter Rob Refsnyder. He still hasn't thrown 90 pitches.
Cruising. Confident. You can tell by his look.
1-1. He has retired 16 of the last 18 Rays hitters. Come up, and it's Salvi on his throwing hand. So Rob Drake will walk the next baseball out to give Salvi a little extra time to recover. The mutual respect between a home plate umpire and a catcher, if that would have hit Rob Drake, Salvi would have walked the ball out to the pitcher. Now Rob Drake will pretend as though he is kicking dirt off the plate and make sure Salvi's all right. I'm sure Salvi appreciates that.
Salvi's really impressed with Skoglund. He's cheering him on right here.
Escobar charges a swipe on a short hop and throws out Refsnyder.
Excellent decision. That's right. I agree with you, sir. You got a guy that can run, and he hits a high chopper like that. If you way back, you got no chance. Skoglund getting some help here. You got to come get it. So why not come get it and no lay it? Yeah. There you go. Get in the right hand there and throw off the right leg. Good job. Watch this. Look at this. This is a skilled shortstop that wears the gold. Making a play like that. Do or die.
Echeverria, he's the difference in the game right now. He doubled leading off the 6th and then scored on a base hit by Duffy and was able to get around Salvador Perez with a slide on an excellent throw from right field by Jorge Soler. One and two. I'll be interested to ask Ned Yost and Pedro Grifol tomorrow about that play at home plate. I mean, catchers are still adjusting to the new collision rule at home plate. You know, where do you set up? How do you set up? And then you factor in Salvi's already wrecked his left knee already this season. Echeverria on a 1-2 pitch. Singles to center field, so he's on with 2 down. And Ned Yost pops out of the first base dugout, and a job well done by Eric Skoglund. It was a rough go for Royals starters for the most part on the road trip. And now Eric Skoglund, making his 7th start this year, takes the game into the 8th inning and gets 2 outs in the 8th inning. And the crowd is already up, ready to cheer him home. And he deserves it. Every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Jason Adam is called on to get the final out of the 8th inning. Runner at first. C.J. Cron is at the plate. Eric Skoglund has pitched a career high 7 2/3 innings. He did not walk a batter, and he struck out 4. No balls, 2 strikes. Skoglund only gave up 2 extra base hits And yet both of those extra base hits came around to score. Crone doubled and scored in the first, and Echeverria doubled and scored in the sixth.
Hard heater. Young man, nice breaking ball changeup. Wants to pick up his buddy Eric Skoglund here.
Echeverria runs, and that's a strikeout. So Jason Adam gets the job done and keeps it a one-run game to the bottom of the eighth.
Moment, and 3-hit Witt is at it again. Look at him. Take the little lousy single in the first time. Second time, he says, all right, you want launch angle? I got it. Nice hang time of about 10 seconds, and he'll take that clean base hit to left field. Back at it again. Has a chance to be 4-hit Witt here. Gonna have to really keep that front shoulder in against Romo, though. And wouldn't you know it, he throws him a fastball first pitch.
Suddenly, Witt is hitting .288. Malik Smith has taken over in center field. Almost got him on the knee. 2-1. Johnny Field, who was in center field, shifts over to left. So Smith will bat in the number 9 position for Ref Snyder, who comes out of the game. Into the left field corner, straightening out, and foul.
Oh, man. He knew he had the distance. He waited on that curveball. Those two fans sitting down, they're hoping, Woodley's hoping they caught it because they're in fair territory. Took off out of the box, wasn't sure. But his 4th hit in a 2-homer game. Rats.
Back with a slider. And that's out to Smith in center field. So the ball finds him immediately. One down in the bottom of the 8th. If you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Just download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. It's presented by T-Mobile. Soler against Sergio Romo. I think he's sitting on a first pitch slider. Couple of guys here who have spent a lot of time in the National League, and yet Soler's only had one at bat against Romo. John Jay has the most. He has 6. Most among current Royals. On the ground to third. Duffy backhands and throws a strike over to Crone. 2 down.
Solid fielder, Duffy. Play shortstop or third base for you, anywhere on that left side.
Mike Moustakas is coming up. And Kevin Cash has lefty Jose Alvarado in the bullpen. So Romo takes care of the 4 hitters he faces, and now 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Trevor Vance sent his grounds crew behind the tarp. There is a heavy cell that is south of Kauffman Stadium, but it's expanding to the north. So we might get some sprinkles or a brief shower, but there's not a big storm on the way, at least not according to the radar. Jose Alvarado faces Mike Moustakas with nobody on and 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. And he runs it up there at 98 miles an hour.
Yep, he'll max out at 100 or better, but he's got a live arm, that's for sure. Slider, curve. See what those look like. He's just 22 years old. Youngster. 245, 6'2".
This is the first time he has faced Mike Moustakas. In the air to shallow right center. Gomez comes way in from right. So Romo and Alvarado get the Royals in order, and it's still 2-1 Rays to the ninth. The Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. The rain has begun. That has driven some fans out of their seats. Others were prepared and have opened up umbrellas, but it shouldn't affect the game if it stays at this pace. And again, looking at the radar, there is heavy rain quite a ways south of Kauffman Stadium, but there's a little branch off of that cell with some light rain. So for now they will play through it, but the grounds crew is ready if they need to put the tarp on the field. 0-2 on Matt Duffy. He has driven in both runs for the Rays with singles to right in the first and sixth innings.
Jason Adam, this is just the second time you and I have been able to see him. We were off his debut. Got a nice breaking ball.
That's 3 hits for Matt Duffy.
Duffy's one of those, he's a Whit Merrifield type player. He's a baseball player. He's good at everything, all around. But Adam, has a good fastball, mid-90s. Breaking ball, changeup. But what impressed me with his next outing in Baltimore after his debut was he gave up a few hard outs, but he threw strikes. He came in and he pounded the strike zone. That's what you want as a reliever. If you're a skipper, you want your guy to come in and put the pressure on hitters. And his stuff looks good. The fact that he's challenging hitters, that's good too. Down. Look at Salvi. Down. Yeah, down. Especially with this hitter here, he's got some pop.
1-1 on Ramos. You mentioned earlier he lost an 18-game hitting streak in Baltimore yesterday. That was the longest hitting streak in the major leagues this year, and now he's hitless so far tonight.
And that's impressive, because he's not getting any infield hits with that. He's hitting it all.
1-2.
Duffy has a couple of steals. It's 2 for 2.
That'll be back into the crowd. You were rattling off some numbers for Ramos a couple of years ago. A career year for him. And then in late September, he wrecked his knee and had to have surgery, and he was an unrestricted free agent going to that offseason.
Terrible timing.
He was a guy you might remember 7 years ago, was at home in Venezuela during the offseason, and he was kidnapped by gunmen and he was held hostage for several days.
Yeah, I remember that.
And was rescued.
There's some drama.
Blew him away with a fastball at 95. That's Jason's second strikeout tonight. One down in the ninth.
Four-seamer, that's good after he threw him 3 breaking balls in a row. Kept it down, you know, got him looking for it, and then just reared back and blew it right by him.
This is Daniel Robertson. Runner going. Salvi with a perfect throw down to second base.
Well, perfect throw. I mean, on the first base side of second, that's exactly where you want it. Makes him 4 for 7 now, Salvi, throwing base runners out. I think the last one he got was on Adams' debut. Jason Adams.
Right after a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah.
Strikeout, throw out, double play. Really turned that inning around for him.
That's a way to pick him up, Salvi.
In the ninth, the Royals will have Salvi leading off, then John Jay, then Ryan Goins. 1-2 on Robertson. And the Royals will see Rays closer Alex Colomé.
Look at that.
Knee buckling curveball takes care of Robertson, and Jason Adam faced 4 and struck out 3.
Outstanding stuff, young man. Keep that up. You'll be here a long time.
grounds crew has hit the road, so no imminent threat for a delay, and the Royals are down to their last 3 outs. Alex Colome will be going for his 7th save. He's been somewhat hittable this year. Opponent's batting average is .290, and his ERA is 4.86.
Okay, someone else has gotten him. Royals can too. He's 6'2", 220, mid-90s fastball, maybe a little bit above that. Slider change.
Salvi jumps on the first pitch. Gomez was shallow, and the wind helped him out. The wind has shifted from blowing out to left. Now it's blowing in from right. So that really knocked that ball down. The Rays are dying for a win against the Royals. They have lost 16 of their last 19 here. Wow. And the Royals have had a tremendous amount of success against Tampa Bay no matter where they play. There's a strike on John Jay. The Royals are 29-11 against the Rays in their last 40 games. That's the best record for one team against any other team in the major leagues during that stretch. So they have just owned the Rays. 1-1 on John Jay. So far, Kevin Cash's pitching staff has held the Royals to 1 run on 5 hits in 8 1/3 innings. Two balls and 1 strike on Jay.
It's been interesting to see some of their arms they've brought out there. They had some veterans, had a couple of young guys, but mainly veteran guys.
Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Ryan Goins is on deck. The Rays have used rookie Ryan Yarbrough. He went the first 5 and gave up the run. Then Chaz Rowe, 1 inning. Johnny Venters, 1/3 of an inning. Sergio Romo, an inning and 1/3. Jose Alvarado, 1/3. And now Colome, 1/3 of an inning. John Jay may have thought that pitch was a little bit outside. Up the left field line, and a dive and a miss by Field. John Jay slides into 3rd with a 1-out triple.
Timely. And when I saw Field going for the ball out there, I'm telling myself, don't leave your feet. You know, you're ahead by 1 run. You better keep it in front of you. Keep the runner off of second base if you can. And he went ahead and dove, thinking he could have made the catch. And now Royals have a chance to tie it up. That's going to bring their infield in and give Goins and Alex Gordon a shot.
When he was diving for the ball there, it reminded me of another Rays player who got a lot of notoriety for diving for balls in the outfield, Sam Fuld. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to dive for the ball. I'm thinking he's not going to catch that, and if he dives.
Ball slicing away from him.
Yep. But he was determined to make the play.
He was. We could see it from our angle up here that he had no chance at it, but you know, that's not a smart play. You got to realize the situation of the game, back off, and at least keep the guy at second if you can. I mean, but he gave him 3 bases. And you know, you kind of love the I can do it. He's got good speed. He's a gamer type player, but sometimes you got to really learn how to back off a little.
So the Rays will bring the infield in on Ryan Goins. He has 5 at-bats in the past against Colomé. After the first pitch, no balls and 1 strike. Anything in the yellow area, 50-50. Take your pick. Green and beyond, good chance that a sacrifice fly or a fly ball will score John Jay. Red and closer, advantage to the fielder. And all the outfielders set up right on the outer edge of the yellow. Grounded foul, and it's 0-2 on Goins.
A couple of breaking balls. He knows that Goins is looking for a heater to just slap over the infield, the drawn-in infield.
Alex Gordon is on deck. Got him looking. He would not throw him a fastball. Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach, had just gone out to the mound before the Rays went after Goins.
Yep, and probably told him, no, just show me your best sliders here, and that ball a little bit too close to take in this situation.
Now Colomé and Alex Gordon. Alex is 2 for 2 with a double against his pitcher. He is 0 for 3 in the game tonight. And he got a first pitch slider.
They believe he's going to pull. Little 3-hopper right by the pitcher to his left on the left side there would do the job. Or he could win the game if he wants to, if he gets the pitch.
And he pulls it into the shift. Echeverria bobbles. Still got him. Aideni Echeverria has not made an error since July of last year. And he almost made a critical error with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th, but he had time to recover.
Oh.
And the Rays with 2 base hits to right field from Matt Duffy in the 1st and 6th innings. Beat the Royals tonight 2-1. We'll be right back.